Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to sit down and make another video for you guys today. The title of this video is how working at a warehouse has almost totally ruined my life. And yeah, so let's kind of get right into the topic. I want to talk about this because this is basically what I believe to be the main catalyst to all my physical problems and my eventual spiral into mental illness and all these different issues that I've been experiencing in life so far. Sorry, my hair doesn't look the best. I need to take a shower, etc. But so yeah, let's talk about warehouse jobs and why I believe that my warehouse job that I had been working really caused my issues, my current spiral, basically. And so, some background details: I used to work in the bulk packing department in a U-Haul warehouse, and it was the U-Haul warehouse based in Kansas City for the entire US and Canada. So it was a huge warehouse. And the reason why I ended up working here in the first place was because my dad worked there. And I'm just gonna have to deal with my hair. But anyways, my dad worked there. He was like a supervisor there. And so I figured, I was kind of going the route. I didn't really want to go to college and stress myself out in all those ways that and have to deal with student loans and all these different things that I just didn't think I was ready for. So out of high school, I decided to move from my job working at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. I was working there, and I went on to work at the warehouse at U-Haul. And my dad, he worked in the normal, like more regular packing departments. So just like normal, like customer orders online. But I ended up not being able to work in that department because he was supervising those departments, right? So they ended up putting me. I trained in those initial departments, but they had to move me on to a different department that wasn't overseen by my father. And so this is how I ended up working in probably the most heavy, like weighted and lifting area of the warehouse, right? So this is what I'm getting into, right? And this is the story of how I ended up getting hurt and injured and everything, and then subsequently pursuing surgery and all these things. So let's talk about the bulk department. This department was basically packing all the necessary parts that you could possibly imagine that they needed to put together all the different U-Haul trucks that you see out and about in the world that you've probably used to move into your own homes or out of your own apartments and all these things. I was, packing and banding everything down to pallets that they use. Like I was even banding down like and having to move around like 500-pound drums of like windshield washing fluid and things like this. Like I would have to use my entire body's weight to move these giant drums of liquid like around on the pallet just so it would be properly banded down and things like that. So um yeah, I was basically just making sure all these giant parts and there was like some smaller loose items and things that I would end up having to pack as well, but for the most part it was very large and heavy, like entire I was moving around entire like truck axles, like just bigger than in me, like with my arms spread out, like all metal. I mean, these things were probably 100 pounds at least. So And you can probably tell just by from these videos, right? You can tell I'm not like a heavy weightlifter, like I'm not a super athletic guy in general. So, um, while I was working here, I fared pretty well. I actually enjoyed the work because I had never really. Oh man, I got a tuft in my hair. Jeez. Sorry. But I'm not built to be moving these things around, and I actually enjoyed the process of kind of, you know, I enjoyed working out basically at my job. It was something I needed personally to do more of anyway. So I actually liked the job at first, but eventually what ended up happening is I ended up getting a tear in like my right hamstring, right? I believe it was my right hamstring that I ended up injuring, and so I kept going back to work. I kept trying to push through, and I didn't really believe that I had seriously injured myself. Oh, geez, another one? I need to like comb my hair or something, dude. This is terrible. Um, anyways, uh, what ended up happening is that I kept going back to work and trying to do my job with this injury. And over time, that like I was overcompensating with my other like leg and everything. And I ended up, um, causing more injuries to my lower body, like all over. Every place that you could possibly imagine in your lower body, I was getting hurt in basically at this point. And, you know, I was scared. I didn't want to lose my job because I couldn't physically do my job, right? So I just kept trying to push through it and hope that things would get better, but they just continually got worse and worse to the point where my entire like my entire hip was becoming unstable. So all the different parts of my hip were not being held together as strongly as they should have been, and I was having like I was getting like hip impingement and stuff like this, like where I would have like shooting pains through my leg, and almost like sciatica. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it was like a sciatica, like nerve pain almost, to where it was like my hip was ending up being under so much pressure, and it didn't have the support that it needed to keep the pressure from pressing some of the nerves that go through your sacroiliac joint, right? So that's a lot of detail there, but some people may understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, you've got a lot of stuff going on in your hips, so that was just devastating to me because this was my only like real other path that I wanted to take in life at the moment. I was working part-time. I wasn't even a full-time employee. I was just part-time. I would show up, do a few hours of work, about 4 or 5 hours of work, and then go home, which was amazing. I loved it. I loved working part-time, getting my workout in at my job, and then going home to pursue whatever passion that I was enjoying at the time, which was YouTube and making like gaming videos and gaming content, which you can go back in my channel and see that and those kinds of videos. But this this whole situation has this happened so many years ago at this point, and I'm kind of going back through it now and explaining some of what's happened and why I've ended up in the situation that I am now.